Hello, I'm Brian Charlson. I'm Director of the Computer Training Services Program at the Carroll Center for the Blind in Newton, Massachusetts. During the next few sessions, we're going to teach you all about Apple iOS devices, from the iPad to the iPod Touch to the iPhone. I hope you enjoy these sessions. When you're learning to use an Apple iPhone 4S, the first thing you're going to need to know is how to turn on and off the VoiceOver screen reader. Under most installations, you can turn that on by a triple tap of the Home key. This is the key in the bottom center of the screen. My VoiceOver is already on, so when I triple tap,
VoiceOver off.
It turns VoiceOver off. I'll triple tap again.
VoiceOver on.
To turn VoiceOver on. Yours may not automatically come on when you triple tap the Home key, because that's an assignment you need to do in the configuration process. So you will, for the first time, need sighted assistance to first choose Settings.
Settings.
Double tap on that.
Settings.
And on the Settings main screen, flick to the right till you get to General.
Airplane mode. Wi-Fi. Notification. Location service. Sounds. Brightness. Wallpaper. General. Button.
And double tap on General.
General. Settings. Back button.
Now that we're on the General screen, we're going to again flick to the right, this time until we get to Accessibility.
General. About. Software update. Usage. Siri. Network. Bluetooth. iTunes Wi-Fi. Spotlight search. Auto lock. Passcode lock. Restrictions. Date and time. Keyboard. International. Accessibility. Button.
And there's the Accessibility button. Double tapping on it.
Accessibility. General. Back button.
Then, accessibility is broken down into three groupings: vision accessibility, hearing accessibility, and physical accessibility. We're going to be focusing exclusively on the vision accessibility options. I'm again flicking to the right.
Accessibility. Heading. Vision. Heading. VoiceOver. On. Button.
And the first choice is VoiceOver, and it will tell you the condition of VoiceOver on or VoiceOver off. When I say it will tell you this, of course, with VoiceOver off, it'll simply be displayed on screen. I'm going to double tap on VoiceOver.
VoiceOver. Accessibility. Back button.
And a new screen appears for VoiceOver. I'm going to flick to the right.
VoiceOver. Heading.
Again.
VoiceOver. On.
And here's a choice for on. If I double tap on this.
Alert. Important. Are you sure you want to disable VoiceOver?
And I get that cue that I would, if I double tapped on this, agree to turning VoiceOver off. I'm not going to do that.
Are you sure you want to disable cancel?
So I flicked right till I got to cancel and double tap to cancel that.
VoiceOver. VoiceOver. On.
If VoiceOver, on the other hand, had been off, double tapping on it would have turned VoiceOver on. There are other things in VoiceOver that you can control on this screen. I'm flicking to the right.
VoiceOver speaks items on the screen.
This is strictly informational.
To select an item, touch it. To activate the selected item, double tap. To scroll, flick 3 fingers.
Now it's going to start giving me other pieces of information and controls. Flicking right again.
VoiceOver practice, button.
Here I can go into a practice screen. Double tap.
VoiceOver practice, heading.
Now that we're on the practice screen, whatever gestures I do on the screen, it will tell me what that gesture is called. I'm going to take a single finger and tap in the center of the screen one time.
Practice VoiceOver gestures, commands, and typing in this area. Select the Done button in the top right corner and double tap to exit.
And it tells me that I'm in this, and to get out of this practice area, swipe till I get to the Done button and double tap on it to exit this practice area. But now it is a practice area. Single finger tap in the center of the screen.
Touch. Select item under your finger.
It tells you that it selects whatever item is under your finger. If I take 2 fingers and tap once,
2-finger single tap. Pause or continue speech.
it tells me that that gesture will pause and continue speech. 3-finger single tap.
3-finger single tap. Speak page number or rows being displayed.
It's going to speak the page number or rows being displayed. This is more useful when you're, say, on a web page and you want to know general layout of the information on the screen. Now I'm going to do a 4-finger single tap.
3-finger single tap. Speak page number or rows being displayed.
and it said it was a 3-finger tap. That's not unusual. Trying to get 4 fingers on this screen at the same time is not easy. I'm going to attempt to 4-finger single tap toward the upper half of the screen, not along the top edge, but in the upper half.
4-finger single tap near bottom of screen. Move to the last element.
And it said I was more to the bottom of the screen, but it says move to the last element. I'm going to 4-finger tap a little higher up the screen.
4-finger single tap near top of screen. Move to the first element.
And it tells me that I would move to the first element. Now, because this is an iPhone and I have rather large hands, that's difficult for me to do. So I'm not truly doing those 4 fingers across horizontally, but rather at an angle. That's single tapping. I can do fingers multiple tapping. So single finger double tap.
Double tap activates the selected item.
So it activates the selected item, and that's the most common gesture next to flicking. 2-finger double tap.
2-finger double tap. Start and stop the current action. For example, answers and hangs up a telephone call. Starts and stops playback of music and video. Starts and stops the stopwatch. Starts and stops video recording. Takes a picture in camera. Starts and stops voice memo recording. Pauses and resumes voicemail message playback. Stops custom voicemail greeting recording.
So it told me here in a long list of choices that it starts and stops things such as recordings, answering and hanging up phone calls, starting and stopping video recording, taking pictures, and a variety of other kinds of start-stop processes. That was 2-finger double tap. 3-finger double tap?
3-finger double tap. Toggle speech on and off.
This is another way to turn on and off speech. Remember, I triple tapped the home key by pressing it 3 times rapidly. I could also turn off speech with triple tapping with 3 fingers. The difference with the home key is I'm literally turning VoiceOver off. With triple tapping with 3 fingers, I'm simply muting the speech. So those who are using this device with a refreshable Braille device will be able to interact with it with Braille only instead of a combination of Braille and speech. Now let's try 4-finger double tap.
3-finger double tap. Toggle speech on and off.
Again, it interpreted that as a 3-finger. I'll do a little farther up the screen. And it does nothing. Because 4-finger double tap does nothing on the iPhone when you're using VoiceOver. In addition to tapping, you have flicking. If I'm moving my finger left to right across the center of the screen, that's called flicking to the right.
Flick right. Move to next item.
Remember that when you're doing this, the finger must be moving before you get started and still be moving as the finger leaves the screen. Flicking left.
Flick left. Move to previous item.
And so it tells me it moves to next item or previous item. But I also can flick up and down. I'm going to flick with 1 finger up.
Flick up. Move to previous item using rotor setting.
Move to previous item using rotor setting. I'll explain rotor setting to you in a moment. But that's not next item or previous item. It's next. Describe what the nature of the item is and select what that item is. It may be previous word, previous line, previous sentence, previous heading, those kinds of things, all of which you'll hear about when we deal with the rotor. Flicking down does the reverse.
Flick down. Move to next item using rotor setting.
Now, in addition, I can use 2 fingers going left, right, or up, down. I'm going to use 2 fingers going from right to left. It says nothing. Do it again. It says nothing. 2 fingers the other direction. Does nothing. 2 fingers, however, going up.
2-finger flick up. Read page starting at the top.
It tells me that it will read this page starting at the top of the screen. 3 fingers or 2 fingers flicking down.
2-finger flick down. Read page starting at selected item.
Here it reads the page, but starting at where you are on the page and going down, not going up to the top of the page and going down. Now, how about 3 fingers left to right or right to left?
3-finger flick left. Scroll right 1 page.
It scrolls to the right 1 page. In the initial screen, that would move us from screen 1 to screen 2 if we had many items on our desktop. The opposite direction, left to right with 3 fingers.
3-finger flick right. Scroll left 1 page.
Let's do 3 fingers up.
3-finger flick up. Scroll down 1 page.
It scrolls down 1 page. So you have to think all of these gestures with 3-finger swipes as if you are moving pages in the direction you're talking about. If I do 3 fingers down, it's as if I'm pulling the page down.
3-finger flick down. Scroll up 1 page.
And it says scroll up 1 page because it's actually drawn another page down into view. How about 4 fingers left to right? nothing. Going left to right, 4 fingers going down, nothing. 4 fingers going up, nothing. So we've done tapping, flicking, and swiping. Another way that you can control the device is through the rotor. I'm going to put my finger and thumb on the screen as if I'm holding a circular knob, and I'm going to turn it.
Rotate counterclockwise. Select previous rotor setting.
And that's called the rotor. And when we start using the rotor in applications, you'll see that it will allow us to tell it what to speak when we flick up or down. If I do those 2 fingers and move them the opposite direction,
Rotate clockwise. Select next rotor setting.
it says rotate clockwise. So you're simply acting as if you're switching a knob around like an old-fashioned channel changer. All of these gestures can be done either with you facing the phone or with you holding the phone to one or the other side, to your strong side. So I'm right-handed, so I'm holding this phone facing my right, and therefore when I'm flicking left and right, I'm actually flicking away and toward me. It's actually, from a physical manipulation point of view, a much easier thing to do. And since I don't have to look at the screen to interact with the voice, it doesn't matter that I can't see the screen from that angle. The same thing can be said for doing the rotor. Although I may put my finger and thumb on the screen and turn,
Rotate counterclockwise.
it's a little
Select
difficult
previous
to
rotor
do
setting.
in more than a quarter turn. If, on the other hand, I put my fingers,
Select item under your finger.
thumb and finger, as if I'm holding that rotor, and instead I turn the phone,
Rotate counterclockwise. Select previous rotor
I
setting.
can move a greater
Rotate
distance that
counterclockwise.
way.
Select previous rotor setting.
These gestures are the gestures you use with VoiceOver. They are not the same gestures you would use if you are not using VoiceOver. For example, you do not double tap in order to execute something when you're using the iPhone, unless you're using VoiceOver. If you're using the phone without VoiceOver, then you very much have to be aware of exactly where the item you're trying to invoke is located on the screen. When you're using VoiceOver, on the other hand, whatever you last heard has the focus, and whatever gestures you do in the center of the screen will apply to what you last heard, not what you are touching at that moment. There are only 2 exceptions to this rule, and that is, as you may recall, the 4-finger single tap on the top edge of the screen, or about an inch down actually, which will speak the thing at the top of the page that has focus, or toward the bottom of the screen where it will read what's at the bottom of the screen that has focus. All other gestures should be done near the center of the phone, whether or not the icon is located in that position. These are all of the different gestures that you can do on the practice screen. I'm now going to get out of the practice screen
VoiceOver practice. Heading.
and
Done.
flick to the right to the Done button, double tap to close it,
VoiceOver. VoiceOver practice. Button.
and I'm going to move up to the top
3. Accessibility. Back
to
button.
the Accessibility button in the upper left-hand corner, double tap,
Accessibility. LED flash 4 alerts.
go down
Off.
again
AT&T Network General. Back button.
to the General button in the upper left-hand corner, double tap,
General. Network. Button.
and I've now backed out of everything, so what I should
Settings.
find at
Back
the
button.
top is the Settings button, double tap on that,
Settings. General. Button.
and then close Settings altogether by single pressing the Home button.